So we are going to be talking about, so I think you hit all those buttons. And then you got your buttons over there. Good. We're going to be talking about shooting the season, a guide to Christmas light photography. And as we mentioned before, if you're going to shoot Christmas lights, now's your chance to do it. About Redlands. If are you familiar with About Redlands? It is a great it's a great website about everything that's going on in Redlands. They just put out a list of all of the places, not all, some of the bigger Christmas tree lights that they have available. So they've got a map with cross streets, which is very, very handy. And you can kind of plan out your shoot if you're planning on going doing it. The nice thing about Christmas tree light photography is that you can do it on your own. You can grab some friends. You can go from house to house. You can shoot inside your own Christmas tree if you want to shoot your own Christmas tree. Lots of chances to practice. Lots and lots of chances to practice. I was looking at my my list of photos, and I've been specifically shooting Christmas lights for since 2015. So purpose to go out, to take a walk, to bring my camera, to focus on Christmas lights. So you're going to be seeing some of these photos from across the years. Downtown Redlands is a great chance to go on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and you basically have the whole downtown to yourself. It's fantastic. Yanni?
Even downtown Riverside at the Mission Inn.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get there. Yeah, we're gonna get there. So the Christmas lights that they have on the historic sign, you know, they decorate it all. So they've got their normal lights that they have out there, and then they amp it up for Christmas. And the Christmas trees over the year. Sometimes these things have lights, and the lights dance and they sing and they spin around, and you have all those things. Sometimes it's tall and skinny, sometimes it's big and much. I don't use the F word, so it's not that it's fat, but it's it's got a bigger wide. Thank you. Much wider on yours for that. So different takes. This year was last year, I think they had a gentleman who was for money he would pose for as Santa Claus for your kids over there. And but if you take the picture and run, you don't have to pay the guy money. No, I did get his permission ahead of time. Over there, they decorate the lights or the clocks. This is the Three Sisters clock. And probably one of the most difficult subjects to shoot because of the high dynamic range. Those clocks, they just glow so bright, and then they dull everything else. So it's a challenge to shoot. So this is 1 year, and then try to get. Ooh, look at this! You go underneath. Try to move. So it's moving low. Use that as a frame. Except everything's all twisty. I kind of like it though. That's one of my favorite shots over there. Some of the businesses really get into it. And they decorate, and so you can take pictures of those. The window displays downtown are fantastic, and they really put in some effort into their window displays. And so while you're out walking, taking pictures, you can go down and see some of these window displays. Florida Lease, well, they were still in business, but I mean, this, just their whole area, they just put so much time and energy into their displays. The alley, if you go down to the alley, that's always a fun thing to do. So I don't know, sometimes in years past, they put, selfie booths in there for Christmas lights. Sometimes they decorate it up. Every year, one of the great things about shooting these year after year after year, everything's different. You go to the same place, but it's totally different, and that's a fun thing to do. This was boy, I saw this 10 years ago, they decorated Santa Claus. Have you seen some of those orange men around town?
Yeah.
Yep. They decorated him with a hat and things. And I kept waiting for them to go back and do it. And they never did. So last year, after Camera Club, I went down, I had a ladder, brought my ladder, had my ladder, brought my Windex because I needed to clean the guy up because of all the dust, brought a hat, brought a paper clip, popped that in the bag to keep his hat on, and took this. This is in for some of you know I do calendars, and so this is my December photo. Yes, Russ.
That's a really high lamp post, Bruce. I'm surprised you were able to do that. How tall of a ladder did you have?
It was a good, it's a good sized ladder, and I'm, standing on top. I mean, it was some effort. I wish I had the, I didn't have anybody to hold the ladders. That would have been probably a smart idea, but you get anything for the shop. So I was working with that. That was fun. Burge Mansion. If you've ever had an opportunity to go shoot the Burge, and the public is available to see it from this side of the fence. And so you get some beautiful shots on, from the street level, big picture. They have one of the largest, I think it's the largest in Redlands anyway, of Christmas tree lights. They have displays. Their drive-through, they're getting tickets for their drive-through that you could do. Usually it's for kids, but young at heart, they have beautiful displays there, and you take pictures of those from the outside. But one of the reasons I volunteer, not only to give back, but to get access. And that combination, when you volunteer and you earn the right to ask, because you've invested, the people, who they are, and then that they're going to get quality photos, from you. Then you have the right to ask, and sometimes they'll let you in. And so have the opportunity to go on the other side of the fence over here and get the Burge Mansion, some of the photos, those steps, working the angles, working really low, trying to see how that works. This is a like 150-year-old something carriage that they have. Everything that they have at the Burge Mansion is old and awesome. Beautiful displays that they have. This is a different year. That same carriage is in a different area over there. They have the angels that they put up with the big old long trumpets that they have. This is the close up over there. The crash. I mean, this is almost life size. I mean, these guys are, or they're at least kindergarten sized. I mean, they're young child size. This is a beautiful, but getting the lights, this light over here, making sure that somebody's standing in front of it, or at least doing an HDR so you can get that so it doesn't blow it out. Mission Pediatrics. Have you ever shot Mission Pediatrics? It's right across from the library. And they put on a show and a half. Again, been shooting this over several couple of years. And notice here, the color on this is purple. But the lights that he's shining, and this is one of those that dances, there's lights, it's a whole light display. Well, if you do a long exposure with all the Christmas colored lights, they turn inevitably purple, is what I found out. So that's kind of a fun photo and fun effect, but it's not actually what you're seeing with your eyeballs. You're seeing a whole different set of colors. By the way, he does this up for Halloween as well. It's even more spectacular. I don't know if it's more spectacular, but it's equally as spectacular. And so you'll see Santa Claus. He moves from one side of the year, and then next year he'll move to the other side, and he's in different spots with different color lights. Again, you shoot the same thing over and over again. You kind of get a sense over here. All right, so here was red and green. So at least I got the right colors over here. And then over here, the green, this is one of those ghosts from Ghostbusters in the towers. You know, he puts he's a card. If you've ever met Dr. Watson, he's a joke. His front yard, he has a golf course in his front yard at home. Yeah, I mean, and it's a doozy. Santa Claus again, those stringing lights. I asked him to change his lighting because it was so bright on his sign. He actually changed the lighting so the entire front sign isn't blown out. So you're welcome. Over there. So that's a fun one over there. Different take, different year. You can see the Christmas, you know, Santa Claus is going over. But those lights still purple. If you're seeing that candy colored purple, you know, that means that the lights are just zooming back and forth. And that's kind of the effect
What's the
that you
shutter
get.
speed for that?
We're gonna get into camera settings here. I'm wetting your whistle. Okay, here, they changed his color scheme, right? The whole, everything was red and green and, you know, different set of colors over here. So when it's dancing, you know, it's you know, you see these displays. Typically, I'm taking several hundred shots, not to get one shot, but to take, all right, the left side of that eve was red. All right, I've got that. Now I'm going to mask out and I'm going to put in the right side of the eve that I got in this other shot. And so you just stack them on top of each other and you mask out the pieces that you want. And so you're able to get the different colors. Otherwise, it will blend all together and you'll get
Purple.
yeah. Kimberly Crest. I wanted to shoot Kimberly Crest for years. It was at least on my list for 7 years. And made a couple of calls. On the inside, these guys decorate to the nines. Kimberly Crest is one of those houses that was built in the 1800s by the Kimberly Crest family from East Coast. It's one of those East Coast to West Coast. And they built the whole thing, and they just unbelievable.
Very nice.
And had exclusive access to shoot the inside. This is the time, by the way, I sheared off my lens. I had my tripod out, but it was a short space, so I kind of scrunched up the legs. But my lens was so heavy, it started to tip forward. No problem, just grab the tripod. Well, I yanked a little too hard and hadn't cranked down.
Oh, no.
It fell off, and camera, you know, equal for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So I pulled and it went forward, and the lens sheared off. Fortunately, if you send it to Tamron for $300, fortunately they could put it back on. And that was the first time that happened.
Oh,
You know it's bad when you shear another lens and you say, "Oh no, not again." But I had the guys on speed dial, so I knew exactly what to do. Well, they put together an entire team of folks to reenact what it's like during this time period. And so they're butlers and maids and dancing people, and they're putting on a whole show, and you get to be on the outside of the house looking in the windows as a voyeur. And it is just, you hear them talking and playing and singing. They put on quite a show. And you know, they go from room to room to room, and you get to see what it's like on there. They're selling tickets. It's Thomas, it's
This
just,
weekend.
yeah, this coming weekend that they're going to be doing that. This year it was so popular, they're doing both a Sunday and a Monday on that. And you don't get to go in the house, but you get to go outside the house. Outside the house, all the people gather. There's Christmas singing. Christmas singing. There's they have a bagpiper who comes, who introduces Santa Claus, and this bagpiper is awesome. And she's bagpiping her bags. And then you get one of these. You stay till afterwards where everybody's gone. And you get that was the first time that I shot that. And then I went back a year later, backed it up a little bit more. And it's just one of those. Oh. Now, I don't know if they let people in with the tripods and all that kind of stuff. I've got special permission to do that, but here's what I find. You know, you show up to places and if you're carrying things, possession is half, it's half the battle. So if you just walk in and you just know what you're doing, just be careful, stay out of people's way and don't trip anybody. Always good advice. Don't trip anybody. Mission Inn. Pipiana, you mentioned Mission Inn. I took the family there just the other day. And they have these awesome displays. Just so fun to, and what you're not seeing is there's a line of about 50 people on the other side waiting to get in. And they've got some beautiful things there to photograph. And the people, they sell the glow balloons and the glow things and so there's a great opportunity to take pictures of there. Used a little bit of AI to help clear some of the people out on this. All right, first time I shot this a couple years ago, they had you'll see this on some of the displays where they move back and forth, and this the heads were moving. Well, I did a long exposure to get what I did, and then the head was all.
Yeah.
There was these three pandas, and it looked like it was the exorcism. So careful if you watch to see if they're moving. So they stop moving over there. They used to do the horses. They don't do the horses anymore, or at least not the days that I've been there for the last couple of years. Is it just the weekend? That's a good possibility. On carriage drawn horses that they have over there. And the front side, the back side, they're all different. Everything is a little bit different. And so you walk around this whole thing, but you're not just walking around the Mission Inn. There's a whole 2 or 3 blocks of other lights and other activities and things to do. And it's just, it's a feast for the eyes. Again, millions and millions of lights. I think they start setting this thing up in September, October, July probably is it just takes so much. Some of the more modern displays, and then they have some of the older displays as well. There is a ice skating ring, so you can get some nighttime action shots with that. That could be fun. And the beautiful hallways, right? That you can put great nighttime portraits. That you may be able to do. Okay, pro tip. Don't go out on a windy night. Not if you're trying to take pictures of, not only is it colder, the tree moves. You'll see here we're taking long exposures, but I had learned, this was at Emmanuel Baptist Church in Highland. And they had a tree that was huge. And when you have time to shoot, that's when you have time to shoot, right? Well, the Santa Anas were kicking up, and that was when I learned one that when you drop your hat, it all the way down. I went the next day and went over 100 feet past where it was because everything got blown up against the fence. So it was going through the leaves, and sure enough, there's my hat.
Wow.
Second thing I learned is when you change lenses in the wind, some dust might get in there. Who knew? Well, that's how I found out the hard way. And so I learned that it was $65 to have my lens cleaned. Which then I learned that you could do it yourself for a lot less from you can buy the Amazon and it's not that hard. So you want to know how to clean the back of your sensor? Yes, Russ.
Hey, just really quick, I really love the image of that tree there. But if you're looking for different type of backdrops for pictures that you're taking, if you take, that's I love the lights on that tree. But if you take it and put it out of focus, you get a nice background that you can use for cards and other things. Just
Hold on a minute, that's
Okay.
coming. Okay, pro tip, long underwear. Didn't show any pictures of that. You're very grateful.
Thank you.
But sometimes here, especially around this time, we get a cold front that comes in and we have some moisture in the air and it just gets cold. And some long underwear will go a long way. Let's put it that way. It keeps you out there longer. All right, what kind of camera?
One you
Good
have.
news is any camera you got, right? Full frame, crop sensor, DSLR, mirrorless, cell phones, cameras. You can photograph some beautiful Christmas lights with the camera you have. This is not one of those, it's tricky because it's at night, but it's not tricky because you don't have the gear. A 50 mil, a nifty 50. That's a 50 millimeter lens. It's about $100 used. You could use that and get some great photos as well as you can with a $2,000. You're not going to get any better photo necessarily because of the lens in this case here. You're talking about because we're going to be moving into higher f-stops. We'll get talking about that in a minute. Hey, can I capture Christmas lights with my smartphone? Absolutely. You can get some great shots with your smartphone. This is my sister's on the left, my wife's on the right. We were at Mission Inn, right? We took these selfie boom. So this isn't even the good part of the camera, right? It's the other side facing. And this is my early Christmas present to me. This is the Ulanzi MA38 smartphone holder. Let's see. So it goes that way. And it has a tripod. So you can use it with your existing tripod. So it has what do they call it? Armor Twist compatible level. So you can put that in. It works much better when it's flat.
Yeah, you almost shared it.
This is fantastic. So I've got that. Oh, and if you want to carry it, just clips along. Wow. Fancy. It slices, it dices. What kind of lens do you need? What kind of lens? Typically wider is what if you're typically is wider. What do I mean by wider? So lower numbers, right? So maybe a 15 to 30. If you're using a zoom lens, like I said, a nifty 50 will work. Now, any lens that you have will work. It's very hard though if you're on a super zoom. If you're bringing your 600 millimeter bird, that's harder. You can get a Christmas light on that, not lights on that. Okay, tripod. One of these. Sturdy tripod. All right, some of you need to ask Santa Claus for a tripod this year. We did a whole class or whole session on tripods, various options. I use a carbon fiber just because it's a little bit lighter. But a sturdy tripod. Last thing you want to do is put a heavy lens on a wimpy tripod and somebody, walks around and bumps it or whatever, and this thing takes a tumble. And then, you got a $3,000 camera with a $2,000 lens on a $50 tripod. Don't do it over there. And then remote shutters are handy, but they're not required. A 2 second delay will work just fine. remote shutter. That way. You can, yes, right.
I was gonna say, most cameras also have a 10-second.
They've got a 2-second and a 10-second.
If you want to get into the picture.
Oh, there you go. Hadn't ever tried getting in my own picture.
Yeah.
Only for Thanksgiving though. Yeah, but I was gonna set all that up. My brother goes, no, I've got an iPhone with my iWatch and I'll just, take it remotely. It's like, fine.
That way.
Technology wins out again. Yeah, Bibiani,
Want to point out with the Canon Connect app, you can also use that as a remote as well.
you got options. So sometimes the cameras come with apps that you can do remote triggers on that way. And you got options, Jim.
Yeah, is there any advantage in using, some of the later iPhones that do really good automatic HDR as opposed to using a regular camera? Because I've seen a lot of good shots come out of iPhones that they do automatic
iPhones make
HDR.
great shots, and they do, like you said, they already do built-in HDR. That's doing a lot of the heavy lifting for you.
Mhm.
And so you just take the shot and oh, look, I only took one picture. No, it took about 100 while you were, and it blended them all together, took the best pieces. We're going to be talking about HDR here in just a sec. All right, the key to epic Christmas light photography is starburst. How many of you know what I mean? Right? You get F16, know what I mean? Right? That is, you get those starburst over there. Puts the twinkle in the twinkle lights. It puts the magic in the mojo. It gives you look at the light on Rudolph's, and it's just those little things. Now, Jim, you were asking about iPhones.
Yeah, they will not do that.
They will not do that, right? F16.
Right.
They can't do that. So F16. So you are going to manually, I use aperture priority, camera settings, all right? So this is what you all came for. Saw you taking notes, but you're probably filling out Heidi's survey. Aperture priority. So aperture priority or AB mode on Canon, what that means is you are setting your aperture. So you're dialing in F16. Use F16. So that is set. Now, base ISO, if you can help it, you want 100, right? That's going to give you your cleanest shot. So those two are set. So what does the camera figure out then? It just figures out your shutter speed or the time, the exposure time. Okay. So if I want a brighter picture, I want more exposure, right? That's so it's going to do the heavy lifting for you. It's going to figure that out for the scene. All right. So can I capture starbursts with my iPhone? No, you can't. And that's because that doesn't have the same kind of lens. It's a very it's a f2 or f4 or whatever. It's a very it doesn't have the ability to go down because it doesn't have an iris the same way. It's taking photos in a whole different way. So can you take good photos with an iPhone? Can you take great photos with an iPhone? Yes, but you can't take magical photos with the starry lines over there. Okay, so
Why can't you you just have to use the raw?
it won't do the starbursts.
Well, if you're doing it in F16, you're gonna get it.
That you can take F16 on an iPhone, but it's not going to give you the starburst. It's just going to take the exposure time down. It's going to reduce the exposure, but it's not going to give you, because the starbursts it's a physical property of the lens. It's the light coming in, going through a small and dispersing.
I never tried it.
Over there. Okay, so if you're taking a photo and it's 30 seconds. Oh, come on, right? Bump up your ISO. Modern cameras do good at 200, 200, 400, 800. I mean, bump it up, right? Reduce that. So if I started at 30 seconds at 100, I could go for 200 and knock that down to 15. I could go up to 400 and knock that down to 8. I could drop that up to 800 and knock that down to 4. I mean, it's just doubles and halves over there. So I find that my ants in my pants say I need to bump my, so I said 100, but I really should have 800. Just because it just takes too long. Because I want to take this photo, and then I want to go over here and I want to take that photo. And by the time I'm ready for that photo, somebody just walked in. Like, stop! They walked in my photo. Okay, if your object is not moving, okay, so this doesn't account for horses that are walking, right? You can look at an HDR image. So HDR, high dynamic range. So this is where we're going to get into the technical part of it. What is high dynamic range? Your eyes can see up to 30 dynamic ranges. That's the darkest darks. Like dark is we're going to go low. And the brightest brights. Those are going to be the high, 30. Your camera, even the best ones, see less. I don't know what your camera can do if it's 12 or 14, 12, 13. The new ones can do 14, 14 and a half is a big deal, right? Anytime they can increase that dynamic range. But what if you took one over here, you took a base, you took one on top, and then you took another one down over here, combined them together, you could get a broader, you could get a higher dynamic range. And that's where HDR came from. And that's what you do, is you take something you take a base level, that's the one that the camera says, and then you bump it high, and then you bump it low. You use the easiest way to do that is with your exposure compensation. So I can never remember do I go left or do I go right? Well, righter is brighter. That's how I remember it. So on your exposure compensation, yes, Rick.
Yeah, one of the things I do on that is look at my blinkies. Have your blinkies on, and if you start out as overexposed, drop it. If you're still overexposed, drop it more until your blinkies are no longer blinking.
Yep.
Then you now got the best shot for the bright areas and the dark areas.
So he's talking about the highlights. So if you're thinking about Christmas lights, right there in the middle of that, it's glowing really bright. But about 5 inches away, it's not so bright anymore. And way over there, it's pretty dark. So you need that high dynamic range to go. So I set it so it automatically will do, you can see I have both set. So in my settings, I have it's called bracketing, right? You can bracket 3, you can bracket 5. Thomas is famous for bracketing 100. I mean, you hear him take a shot. It's, 8, I think, is pretty standard. I'm a 3 bracketer just because I don't like to use too many photos. And if you're shooting in RAW, you can push. You've got about 2 stops plus or minus anyway. So 2 stops. We'll talk about stops here in just a minute. If Yannick?
I was wondering, what's the difference between, it looks like you were shooting in the compressed RAW and then regular RAW.
Oh, that's all right. Compressed RAW. This is we'll take that offline. But smaller files.
Okay.
Same quality, smaller files. Okay. So when you're shooting in burst mode, you can shoot more without running out. So that's where you set it. So what is a stop? All right. Again, this stops. Stop is an amount of light. That's it. A stop is an amount of light. So in this room, under this circumstance, if you're going to take my picture, you would want a proper amount of light. Now, if I'm too bright, right, I'm blown out, that's too, there's a term for that. What is it?
Overexposed.
I'm overexposed. I'm too bright. I'm blown out. And if it's too dark, all you see is black, you're underexposed. So it's just a stop of light. It's just amount of light. And you either have the right amount, too much, or too little. That's it. So if you're adding a stop, you're gonna double, in this case, we're doubling the time, right? Because we're gonna double the time. So one stop, double the time. If I'm subtracting a stop, because I want to shoot 1 plus 1 minus. So I'm gonna half the time. So let's say, let's take 10, just because 10 is an easy number. Most of us can add 10, all right? So 10, 20, 30.
No.
No, because I gotta double that. 10, 20, 40. In this case, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 40 seconds. Okay, if I'm subtracting, okay, we're starting with 10. So if I'm having, what's 10, half of 10? 5, 2.5, right? 2 point, just double half. All right, let's practice. 8 seconds. We're gonna double. 8, 16, 32, half. 8 is, we're gonna 8, 4, 2. You're already masters. Okay, 2 seconds. 2, 4, 6. 2,
Two,
Oh,
four, 8.
2, 4, 8. Oh, I'm doubling that number. Okay, having 2, 1, a half. Right?
14.
Okay, so if I'm starting at a half, now I'm getting into fractions and they just confuse me, right? So that's why we let the computer do it. All right, your camera's smart enough. So pro tip, if your initial exposure is 15% or under, or 15 seconds or under, you're fine. If it's higher, you're in trouble. Why is that?
Noise.
Most can't, bingo, go, Carl. Most, yes, most cameras are limited to 30 seconds. So if you're at 15, you can double to 30, no problem. You can have to 7.5, which is fine. But if you're at 20 seconds, it's your initial exposure. 20 seconds doubled to 40. It's not going to go to 40. It's going to do 30. So it's going to do 30, 15. You know, so you're not going to get that. You're not going to quite get that dynamic range. So how do you make it go faster? On AV mode,
ISO.
bump up the ISO. Right, so typically you're only getting those super long exposures if you're, in the dark with no light. All right, creative techniques. This is my favorite part. I call this technique zoom the lens. All right, so here is our camera. I'm assuming you have a zoom lens. Okay? You're not shooting it with a prime lens, a single focal length. All right, so you got that, and so you're going to zoom. Because remember, you got a long exposure. You got 2 or 3 seconds in there, 4 or 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Zoom, 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 right? Or just zoom. Start in, go back, start from the back, I've got my 24 to 70 on. So I start at 24, move to 70. Take a picture. I don't know if that's any good or not. So I'm going to try to start at 70 and move to 24. Well, what if I start halfway in between? I don't know. This is one of those things you kind of don't know what you're going to get, but it's beautiful. All I know is it's beautiful. Whoa, creative.
Definitely applying that.
Definitely, yes, definitely creative.
Yeah.
Creative. Ah. That's what I was trying to go up and down. It's not as funny as left and right. Well, what if you accidentally bump the tripod? Cool! You're painting with light. All right, I call this move the lights. I learned this because I was trying to get something out of the way and accidentally bumped the lights, and it was taking an exposure. It was like, I did it by accident, and now I do it on purpose. Right? Oh, swing those puppies. You're doing a long exposure. See what you get. Okay, move the camera on purpose. So one, you're moving the lights. Now you're moving the camera. Ooh. now I'm taking the, where it is, which one is it? And, I'm moving it, up and down, or I'm moving it left and right, right? I'm taking and getting those unique shots, right?
Yeah.
Taking it beyond the normal.
Did you
Okay.
spin that in a circle? Like, how did you get that last one? Cause.
You're the camera straight up.
Yeah.
Whee! So you're getting it where it's not. Anyhow, you're going around.
Okay.
Straight bokeh. I think Russ, you were talking about this. Straight bokeh. That was my first straight bokeh shot. I didn't have a very good lens. You can kind of see it's kind of wobbly. Oh. Ah. I like this. I like this very much.
Yeah.
I want more. Okay, crystal ball. How many of you have used one of those little crystal ball things? Brian, you've tried that? Yep, Carl. Becky, it's fun.
Lens ball.
Right? Lens
ball.
Lens ball. Thank you. You can't see the future, but you can see some lights. Right? Oh yeah, by the way, this works on other holidays as well, not just just Christmas lights. Looking through that. And so when you have that lens, it's going to take the photo upside down. So you have to turn it back up. Here I have it sitting on a base. So I had to take that and turn it. So I'm hand holding that, or I have it on there. I'm taking the picture and then turning it upside down.
Could you shoot the photo upside down initially? And
Yeah.
just come out? Okay.
Well, you're standing straight up. The photo's upside down. But in your head, it's upside down. Never mind. Over there, hand holding this one, shooting through. You got some creative ideas. All right. Where are other places to photograph that you're aware of? Brian?
Newport Beach.
Newport Beach. They've got the whole boats, don't
Boat
they?
parade.
Yeah, they got the boats parade. The desert, Living Desert has a whole night thing that they do.
Morning Fairfax.
Other ideas.
They used to do that, the streaks in Chino.
Chino, oh,
They
fantastic.
still do
Yep.
it.
Maybe
Yeah.
Live Oak Canyon.
San Diego, Del Coronado.
Okay, you got,
Trip right there.
but they also have, if you have a Christmas tree in your house, that counts, right? If you have Christmas lights in your neighborhood, sometimes those are the easiest to get to, right? You don't have to go far. You don't have to drive anywhere. You just go practice. I typically don't photograph the little blow up things. Those aren't as fun. Christmas lights, right? Those are a lot of fun. So many Christmas lights, so little time. And I cannot wait to see your lights that you're going to be taking for our content, for our challenge over there. Questions? Russ?
So not a statement. You talked about dynamic ranges earlier.
Yes.
About, I can see about 30 dynamic ranges.
Yep.
Google says an average DSLR camera, about 9. There are a few cameras out there that will go up to maybe 13 or 14.
Yep.
Okay. So it just gives you an idea that what your eyes are seeing versus what the camera can capture.
See, Russ is using AI. You can use it too. Brian?
Why not use a store filter?
There's even more techniques. That's another one. I've seen people who cut out little shapes and put it in front of their camera. That's one of the things I want to try this year. Start with where you're at, master the technique, and then next year, up your game. If you
I just want to point out with those that do utilize their cell phone cameras, if you do get a little tripod, the cell phone cameras do an excellent job of taking photos at night. It's like a little long exposure, but some of the phones could get down to an f-stop of 1.4, depending on the kind of phones that you have. And many of us can't afford that kind of lens, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
yeah, nothing wrong.
It's on mine when I looked it up, but I'll have to try it. So this is Samsung, right?
Mhm.
It says it can do starburst, but I have to do it in the pro mode. I never tried it.
my guess is the same way that it does the bokeh in the background,
Maybe,
is that it's digitally produced, not naturally produced.
maybe, I don't know.
But would it look awesome? Probably. So I'm looking forward to seeing your bokeh shots. Yes, who else?
I thought it was interesting that some of your last photos that were more creative, kind of imitate your photos that you take of the stars that go through.
Isn't that interesting? Yes, because you're shooting at night, a lot of those techniques kind of carry over in that. And so the field trip is on a Thursday. Again, it costs to get in, totally worth it. Come hungry. You'll overpay for your food, but it's so good. It is so good. All the lavender stuff lavender infused items. So that this Thursday, it's Thursday after that. Over there.
I also had another comment. I think that you'd be a good Santa Claus.
Oh, I saw this.
I should have stopped
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah, Mike, can you mind stop recording? There is, no, keep going. There was, I saw this on Instagram. It goes, there's 4 stages in your life. This is for the gentleman. 1, you believe in Santa Claus. 2, you ask for, you don't believe in Santa Claus. 3, you get to play Santa Claus. And 4, you look like Santa Claus. So I think we all know that journey. It's good stuff. We've got our Christmas party next in 2 weeks. It should be fantastic. The committee has been putting together, put a lot of work into that. Photos were congratulations to all of our winners. Rick for best of show, totally worth it. Awesome. We've got some beautiful shots. And wrap up I am a firm believer you haven't taken your best shot yet. Your best shot of the year is still on the table, and go out and find it. There's no reason why it couldn't be one of these Christmas shots or one of the other photo shots that you have planned. So go out and do it. Appreciate it. Thank you.